How to hire the right people. Now, there are typically three things I'm looking for: competence, attitude, and culture fit. Okay, now let's start with the first one: competence. What I define as competence is the skill sets, the experience required for a certain position. I want, for example, if I was hiring a video editor, right, I want to build edit videos on time. I need to see that they have a portfolio, they have a history, to be like, hey, I need you to produce, edit 2 videos a week so that I have 2 videos to post each week. And so that would be an example, right? You're not always going to get the perfect person. So as long as the competence is close to where you want them to be, and then with a little training you could, that's fine, right? It'll work. Now, the second thing I look for is attitude. Now, how do they deal with situations? How to deal with difficult situations? So for me, I personally don't want somebody who is a BMW, right? Somebody who complains. I don't want a whiner, right? I don't want somebody who complains about problems. Now, if there's a weakness, if there's something that needs to be fixed, fine, but say something like a solution with it. Don't just complain about it, okay? And, having that attitude, it's like, okay, I can always improve myself versus, oh, this is a shit show. This is going to be really bad. I don't need that kind of person within my organization, within what I do. And so the ideal attitude that I'm looking for is somebody who's willing to improve themselves, to be comfortable doing things that are uncomfortable. So that's my ideal. And when you're looking for attitude, you're looking for how do they face situations. Now it depends on who you're hiring for. If you're just hiring for, like, let's say somebody doing clerical work or lower tier work, the attitude, it just have to be decent enough. But, like, let's say, for example, you're hiring somebody for a manager level position or a high level position. You probably ask questions like, "Hey, can you stay late?" And see how do you react. Are they willing to put in the extra hours when the company needs it, or whenever the organization needs it? So that's something to consider when you're looking at the attitude. And the third thing is culture fit. Now, with the culture fit, you need to see if they can fit within your organization. Do they believe in, your vision as an organization? Do they Can they get along with the people well? It's okay to have arguments here and there as long as they're constructive, but to see if they're a good culture fit or not. So that's something to consider, right? Can they get along? Does seem like this person enjoys the kind of culture? So we'll see. Now, when you get people, ideally you want all three, right? Competence, attitude, and culture fit to be all good. But you're not always going to get that all the time. So let's say, for example, the competence is not quite where it should be. But let's say that the attitude and the culture fit are good. So in that case, I would say that they would need training. Since they can still get along with people, they still have a great attitude. They just need to be trained. They're willing to do, bring value to organization, but again, they're going to need training. Now, ideally, the gap shouldn't be too big because you don't want to waste your time, spend too much time training them. And so that depends on organization. If you're smaller, it's just starting out, the competence maybe more willing to train, but as you grow as your business, you're always going to need somebody where the gap in the competence where they are and where you want them to be are pretty small, or they're right there, or even best they exceed your what you think would be competence. So that's good. Like, okay, so let's say, for example, the attitude is missing. Okay, so the attitude is not there. They're quite negative in certain aspects of the work. Perhaps, they are very good at what they do, and they can get along with people, but sometimes when they're working by themselves, they'll say things like, "Hey, this is gonna be terrible," whining, complaining. And I know, right? Sometimes when you're in a very tough situation, you have the urge to want to complain. I personally don't want to work, with people like that. But that depends on your level of, like, how much, what kind of attitude you're looking for. So again, the attitude can be adjusted, can be improved if you're willing to coach them. And if you're not, you may have to decide you're going to have to let them go. So something to think about. Now let's say that the competence good, the attitude good, but the culture fit is not good, right? So competence, they can do their job well. The attitude, they have a great work ethic and stuff. They tackle problems head on, which is good. But for some reason, they don't fit within that culture, right? They're not quite getting along with the people. It seems like this is not the right kind of culture for them. They want to do things their way. The culture expects things to do another way. So that's something to consider. Now, here's the thing: you can coach them and see if the culture is good for them, and see if okay, can they do can they get along with people, and so they need to be coached. But you're going to need to set a time limit to get them coach and see, okay, can we get this person to work with other people? Now this is one of the hardest to train because either that person fits in or they don't. So something to consider. If you have any questions about these three things, competence, attitude, and cultural fit, post in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button for the next YouTube video on how to manage your teams and how to get the right people on your team so that you are more likely to succeed. I'll see you next time.